Hey guys, and welcome back to another vlogmas vlog. So I kind of thought it would be fun to do a voiceover vlog of some of the things I got up to over last weekend. I know I'm a little bit late, so sorry about that, and it's kind of my fault because of this genius idea that I had where I do a voiceover vlog and show you all the gardening and the pizza making that we got up to on the weekend. The only problem with that is that it has taken me a little bit of a squiddly bit of time to do this voiceover. Who would have thunk it? But yes, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a different type of vlog, so do let me know if you like this. But basically we are starting this vlog off with the day of gardening that we did. I know, so wholesome, but the garden was in serious need of some TLC. There's Saxon just being a silly guy. I love when he gets his lip stuck on his tooths. But yes, as you can see, some of the things are looking really good in the garden, and we had seedlings that needed to go out, but my flowers and my chaos lane were looking so tragic. Like, truly, what a sad, beautiful, tragic garden that I had going on. It was literally so bad, and I had grown those straw flowers too dry, so I was like, look, obviously we're done, you're done, you need to come out. As you can see there, it looks so bad. And so we were like, okay, we got to tackle quite a few things in the garden. There was things to do, booked and busy, so we were really trying to get things ready as Christmas is coming up really quickly, guys. I don't know if you know it, but each day it's getting closer. But yes, so that is kind of the state of the garden before we started, and I started with the wisteria, and I'm not sure if this was a good idea because, confession time, I hate this thing. I hate the wisteria. I probably have said this in other vlogs, but the reason I hate it is not because of the pretty purple flowers. No, don't be silly. It's because it harbors moss. It usually looks like a dead stick for most of the year, and it's basically just like so much leaf, hardly any flower, and it grows so big every summer. Like, every winter I cut it back really like aggressively, and then every summer it's like, hello New York. So I started my gardening day by cutting this back, and I just feel like that might have been a bad idea because it put me into like a rageful cutting back, pulling everything out kind of a mood. Here I am, I know, a bit gross, but I'm showing you like all the little bugs and silly little things that like to live in this wisteria. Like, it's just, when you have fruits and vegetables and other things growing in your garden, like, it's not fun to have a whole ass tree bush thing growing bugs for you and making a house for bugs. So yeah, this started me off a little bit angry, I would say, because I hate the wisteria so much and I had to cut it back. More on what my rage for the wisteria made me do later, because now we are harvesting the potatoes. Yay! We finally could harvest the potatoes, which is so exciting because they are ready for Christmas. And even more exciting, and I don't even think we did this on purpose, we're just geniuses, I guess, is that we grew red and white potatoes. So they're literally festive and fun potatoes. So last year we grew potatoes, and this year we did as well. So I feel like it's kind of like a low-key tradition and so easy. Literally, these are from potatoes that we bought at the supermarket. We just planted them, and then bada bing bada boom, 3 months later I think they were ready. And so we're going to have like a fun festive potato salad something for Christmas Eve. So that's really fun. But now back to the confession of the fact that the wisteria made me really angry and made me pull out a lot of my garden. As you can see, I pulled out a lot of weeds, and it made my chaos flower lane and my chaos pot that I pulled basically it all out. It wasn't my plan, no, but I think the wisteria made me angry. All the weeds made me angry, and so here's me planting more flower seedlings after the fact. Yes, I'll have to show you guys in the next vlog what it looks like now, because raggy. That is kind of the end of the gardening section, so let's move into the fun pizza section. And I wanted to show you guys this recipe because it really is a good one for just like making at home and having, if you have guests, like you just want to have a good pizza recipe that you can use. So as you saw, 280 grams of water, and not 282 grams of yeast, just 2 grams of yeast, and then 3 grams of sugar, so that they can, you know, start getting to know each other basically. And this step is completely optional, but I like to get sugar all over the counter just for a little bit of fun, festive flair, you know, just something different. This is me kind of demonstrating, like I'm letting them get to know each other, and then they have now gotten to know each other. Great news, guys. The water, sugar, and yeast know each other, so we can add our flour. And this is quite a high hydration dough. This is me showing you how sunny it is. So if you have a bread or pizza or kind of KitchenAid something, use that, because kneading this dough, it is going to be a sticky mess and I wouldn't recommend it. I just like making my life hard. But yes, so 400 grams of flour and 8 grams of oil and salt. And I will put the recipe in the description because I'm really nice and helpful like that. Unfortunately, the scales pranked me at the end. They were like, just kidding, 417. So just a little bit extra salty, I guess. But yes, as you can see, this dough is very wet and sticky. So if you do have some sort of mixer, make your life easier and use that instead. But I do kind of enjoy kneading dough. So if you don't mind kind of battling through the sticky part of it, that sounded weird. If you don't mind kneading sticky doughs, basically, it's fine. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bit messy. But yes, I really like this recipe because it's just a great one for friends. Like whenever people come over now, they're like, we really are hoping that you guys are going to make that yummy tray pizza. So this is a tray pizza recipe. You kind of cook it like almost like a focaccia, but it's just really good. And this is kind of how the dough is looking after a little sprinkle more flour, a little elbow grease, a little bit of time and effort. And as you can see, it's not like smooth by any means. It needs to rest, think about what it's done, you know, reflect on its life so far. And this is me doing a really stupid transition that didn't really work at all, but as you can see, that was just me showing that it had rested for a bit. And I swear resting this dough actually is the biggest help. Like how much smoother that is. I haven't even done anything. It basically did that all on its own. How smart of the dough, am I right? But yes, so I think this recipe is just really good if you're having people over because it's just a good one for a home oven. Like you don't need a crazy hot like wood fire oven to make it, and people really like it. Like people always ask about the pizza. But yes, that's what the dough should look like when it's ready to rest. If you can, definitely make this pizza dough the day before you're going to cook it, because then you can leave it out during the day, put it in the fridge overnight, and then take it out the next day. If you can't do that, obviously just leave the dough out all day long and make it the morning of. But I just feel like, I don't know the science of it, but it just makes it yummier and have more bubbles and fluffier, I guess, if you can make the dough the day before. So then once the dough has risen over the day, a few hours beforehand, you can then put it in the tray you're going to cook it in. And obviously butter the tray first because that helps it to not stick. Now this is me basically putting it in the tray. So this is the tray vibes that we're going for, like a long rectangular tray. Definitely I would say similar to a focaccia vibes, and that's kind of the dough. As you can see, the oils are dripping off, but I buttered this pan because I just think it makes it so much easier to get the pizza out. Trust me on that one. Butter over oil. You're welcome. This is kind of what it will look like when you pull it out, and then you just basically want to stretch it out to the tray like this. Voila. And I would say like do this at least an hour and a half before you want to make the pizza. But the longer you like the earlier you do it before you want to make the pizza, say if you do this like 3 hours, you're just giving it more time to rise in the tray itself. So if you like a really fluffy thick pizza, then do that. The more time you give yourself is always better, obviously, but if you don't have the time, like pizza is always good. But yeah, now I'm making my sauce. I was just going for like a simple cheese pizza this day. As you can see, just real basic oregano, basil, and garlic, me goldening the garlic, and then I add in me tomato paste. So that's basically, I'm just showing you guys how I make my sauce now. I would only add the white wine vinegar if you kind of like that more like Pizza Hut sauce flavor. Like if you don't like the white wine vinegar, just don't even bother about it because it is a bit finicky, because obviously like as I'm showing you right here right now, you have to cook it off, and that can be like a bit fiddly, and if you don't like the flavor of it, like it wouldn't be worth it to you. But as you can see, I'm basically cooking it off like you would wine or anything like that, where you want to basically cook off that vinegar flavor, and you basically have to reduce it down. And like I keep it separate from the tomato paste because otherwise it's way too strong. So this is kind of like an extra for experts if you don't mind the flavor. I think if you do it and you like the flavor, it's quite nice. But yeah, as you can see, it's really reduced down now. It's basically nothing. And so once it's basically nothing, Then you can mix it in with your garlic tomato paste. And also you don't have to do garlic. Like this is really a choose your own adventure sauce. Like whatever herbs you like, add those. If you don't like garlic, don't add those. But I'm just kind of like a basic gal. Just a garlic, oregano, and basil gal. Always have been, probably always will be, you know. So that's kind of my vibes. And I like to add in my herbs, my dried herbs here, just so that they're not like hard or like crunchy in the sauce. I feel like you get it. Like you just want to give them enough time to soften. But obviously, if you had fresh herbs, which is even better, you can add them in at this point as well. I feel like the sauce is like a choose your own adventure. This is just kind of what I do. Like if you just like to buy like jarred passata, like I feel like a smooth sauce is better. I hope this clip isn't too weird, but basically I don't like tomato chunks. So this is what I do. I use the whole tomatoes and then I squeeze them and then take out like the tomatoey part so the sauce itself is smooth, if that makes any sense at all. But yes, this is oven setup. Basically, if you have like a hot steel or something that you can put down, you can, but you definitely don't need it. But basically we just turn the oven all the way up. That's in Celsius, by the way, guys, so I don't know what that's in Fahrenheit, but yeah, that's basically how my sauce ends up. But if you just like using like tin tomatoes, passata, like whatever you're into, choose your own adventure. Also, you can do any toppings. Like we've done so many different toppings as well, but we were just doing cheese today. So that is kind of the amount of cheese. I would say if you want very cheesy, do like 250 grams. If you want less cheesy, do like 200 grams. But yes, now what you do is you put like 2/3, I would say, of your sauce on your pizza and then you cook it. That's me trying to show you to cook it for 10 minutes. As you can see on the clock, we're starting at 30. But yes, you put it in for 10 minutes and I turned the oven down a little bit from 250 to 225 just because we don't want the top to burn and it will be hot enough. But yes, after 10 minutes, whoa, sorry, steamed you. That's better, but a lot of the sauce will be kind of drier, but then obviously that's also the part that cooks the pizza dough itself. But then once you've taken it out of the oven, you can put the rest of your sauce on and then your cheese. Also, obviously, any toppings that you want. Truly get creative, whatever you feel like. We've done burger pizza, we've done Hawaiian, we've done mushroom, like any pizza you can do. And then I just like to turn it down to 200 because sometimes I find that the cheese like gets too golden, but this is how it looks. Whoa, sorry, steamed you again, so sorry about that, guys. But this is how it looks like afterwards. Like you want the pizza and cheese to have a bit of goldenness, but you don't want it to be too burnt or anything. But yes, that is how it turns out. A nice fluffy pizza. Love to know in the comments if anyone ends up trying this pizza. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching another Vlogmas vlog, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye.